Story time about why I hate my brother's girlfriend. So a little background information, I was 14 years old and had just started my freshman year of high school, and my brother and his girlfriend were both seniors. And we're gonna call his girlfriend Riley. Now, Riley and my brother started dating in the middle of the summer, and you would think since they just started dating and basically just met each other that I wouldn't know her that well. But literally 2 days after they started dating, she started spending every single day at my house. I'm being serious, like she had a whole duffel bag that had basically her closet in it. But that wasn't the problem. So in the summertime, my parents would plan a lot of family activities, and since they were called family activities, his girlfriend wasn't allowed to go. I mean, I think she would have been allowed to go, but she was also really disrespectful to my mom. So after one of our family days, my parents asked my brother if Riley would be joining us for dinner, and he just ignored them and went up to his room. And my room's right next to his, so I could hear everything. And Riley called him like for part 2.
I caught a girl stealing yesterday, and when I did, she ran out of the store crying. This girl started talking to me, and I was like, wow, she looks really freaking familiar. The more I looked at her is finally when I realized who she was. I got that in my eye. This girl had stolen from us before. It was from one of like the first weeks I had worked there. The first time I spent like an hour with her, getting her an entire new skincare routine and makeup routine. She was telling me her backstory, what kind of skin type she has, all this stuff. And I was just picking out items from all around the store, and she was putting them in her basket. At the end of the interaction, she said, all right, I'm just gonna like go over here and decide what I want to get and what I don't want to get. She like went into this corner and then left, and I was like following her because I'm like, does she like have something with her? Like, is she paying like somewhere else? It was just really weird because I couldn't find any of her stuff. When I finally did find her stuff, it was in this corner, and literally everything I had recommended to her was just sitting in this corner, and a couple of the boxes were empty. Definitely felt betrayed, to say the least. When I saw her at the store yesterday, my breath was kind of like, I was like scared. I was like, no way she came back. Sure enough, she tried doing the same thing. But this time was so much weirder. The first time it happened, I was by myself. The second time, we had 3 girls on her, giving that customer service, being like, what do you need help with? Blah, blah, blah. She's just playing into it, like asking us questions, and she's like telling us her backstory. But of course, the one that she told me was different than the one she told my coworker. Some of the products that I recommended last time that she did, like she said she didn't like, she had in her basket this time. But like, get this. It was like we were playing a game of like hide and seek with her. She would pick out items from like around the store, put it in her basket, and then like put it somewhere else around the store. So bizarre. I don't know if she was doing that to like try to distract us or something. Just made her look more suspicious, obviously. So us 3 girls were just following her around the store, picking up the items that she's just like dropping and like picking up and stuff. I eventually had to call our manager because she went into an aisle with something in her hand, and she came out of the aisle not in her hand anymore. I asked my coworker, I'm like, should I call like our boss? She's like, I don't know. So I was like, she literally just shoved it in her bag. So I went in the corner and I was like, hey, there's like somebody sneakily putting items into her bag in Sephora. This is when my heart literally started pounding. After I went on the radio and like said that, I realized she was literally like right next to me. So I was like, shit, like, did she hear me? And then I like got scared for myself. I'm like, what if she heard me? Like, what is she gonna do now? So my boss comes and he's just like, stay on her, like keep giving her customer service, make sure she doesn't like steal anything else. And obviously I'm freaking out. I don't want to do that. That's like scary and awkward. She had this like big, like puffy black bag. So at this point she doesn't have anything in her hands. And I don't think she put too much in the black bag except like one item, but she starts like walking really fast towards the front of the store. Walk after her, and I really wasn't even gonna say anything, but she ends up turning around. Her eyes were filled with water. She was totally about to just bawl right in front of me. She knew we were on to her. Obviously really flustered, and she was like, I have to just like finish my shopping and I'll be right back. Obviously never came back. So I told my boss, okay, she's out of my section. She's like going this way. He followed her to make sure she like wasn't going anywhere else, like with more items. I think when she realized he was onto her also, that's when she started like booking it. She was already walking really fast, but this time she actually booked it like out of the store. Needless to say, I do not think she will be coming back. At the end of the night, we had to scan everything that she like misplaced or like attempted to steal. The total ended up being $882. She got away with like at least one thing. It's safe to say she'll never be doing it again, at least not at our store. Goodbye.
One time I was sitting on the couch with my ex and like literally his family, and he was scrolling through Instagram on his phone, and I realized literally every single story he swiped through was an Instagram famous girl or like a pretty girl he had a crush on. Like it was just one story of a girl after another, and I was like, okay, this is getting embarrassing. I have to go to the bathroom or do something, and I still had his phone, and I was like, oh, this is my time to shine. And I started unfollowing all of them, like every single one of them. I'm not one to be sneaky or lie, so like he came back and he knew what I was doing. He saw what I was doing, and I told him like, yeah, I'm unfollowing all these girls. Anyways, he got super pissed and was literally acting like I betrayed him for unfollowing these girls. And he was like, why would you do that? And I was like, because you literally have a girlfriend that you post with all the time and none of them follow you back. And he was like, well, they used to follow me back. Guys, we change and get ready in front of this mirror this window every single day, and look at these boys. Look at them. They probably have seen us naked for the past week. Literally gonna be in disbelief, but he literally proceeded to take his phone and ask me if he could follow all these girls back on Instagram after I just unfollowed them. Like, the actual audacity. Like, imagine your boyfriend wanting to follow these girls so bad that he literally asks his girlfriend for permission to refollow them back. Like, yes, I want your name popping up as following them so bad so they can be like, oh my god, look who just followed me and he has a girlfriend. Anyways, I was like, yeah, you can follow them back if you want me to literally break up with you and fly home. It goes to show you how stupid boys are, and they don't even realize what they're doing is so weird and wrong. Also, this was like 2.5 years ago. I probably wouldn't do this now, but I just thought it was a silly story because everyone's talking about why your boyfriend shouldn't like other girls' posts and stuff and how it's embarrassing. So that's my delusional story. You're welcome.
Get ready with me whilst I tell you some really funny but traumatic experiences I had when I was at school and being a social media girl. Starting off, I think this is one that a lot of people always get shocked about because they're like, no way people asked you this. But teachers used to always ask me like, oh, how much do you earn a year? And like all these really, really personal questions about like my money. And like I just always used to think I would never ask a teacher how much they earn, so why are they asking me? A lot of people always expected, like because I had a following on social media, that a lot of people wanted to be my friend. But I'd say it was the complete opposite. People was kind of like, I don't even know what it was, but people was just so weird with me and like just was rude all the time. They're like, oh, she's a TikTok girl, like she's so prestige. But none of them would even speak to me. Like I made some really good friends in younger years and my years, but everyone else just had such an opinion when they didn't know me, which is one thing I find with social media, and a lot of my friends had the same issues growing up on social media. It's really annoying. I think one of the most funny, memorable things is the rumours people used to make about me, which was so far from the truth. And it used to literally make me giggle so much because I'd be like, that's just not true. Like, basically, some girls was throwing balls at the back of my head in PE. And I felt really dizzy, so I went to the medical woman, and then they made me, like, tell them what happened. Because I was like, I don't really care, but I had to tell medical what happened. And then medical told pastoral, which is, like, the people that, like, try to sort out problems. And I remember I was like, oh, this is just going to get me so much more problems. And then the whole of year 8 and 9, I had a rumour going around that apparently my parents paid the school to get me out of trouble. And my dog's sneezing like mad. Are you okay? But no, like, there was seriously a rumour going around that my parents owned part of the school. My parents paid the teachers not to get me in trouble. But in reality, they was all the ones that was being naughty and not me. That's why I just never got in trouble, because I was just the blooming victim of it all. But yeah, that was a very good rumour that went around. Everyone literally told everyone that my mum paid the school to get me out of trouble. Another thing was I was called Snobson because my last name's not actually Charlize, it's Hobson. And my whole school life, I was called Amelie Snobson because apparently I was a snob. In year 7, I had a red bag. So in year 7, most of the people used to call me Red Bag Girl because no one knew my name. If I ever had hate from anyone from school, like being horrible to me, and the school found out about it, the school would tell me to quit social media because that's the reason that I get hate. But, like, there would be kids that done dancing in my school that would get hate because they was, like, good at dancing. But they never got told to quit what they was passionate in doing. It was just because I done something different. If you want a part 2, let me know. I've got so much more.
Story time about when my mom caught me doing it with my best friend.
I was 16 at the time, and there was this new boy that moved in across the street from us. He was super cute, and I noticed him right away. My parents were super strict. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend or even any guy friends, and I knew right away that I wanted to at least become this guy's friend because he was so cute. So one day I told my mom, hey, why don't we take cookies or something to welcome the new neighbors in town? And my mom was like, that's a great idea. So we end up going over and we meet them. They're really nice. And the cute boy comes downstairs and he tells his mom he's going to go to Bible study. Well, when we get home, I tell my mom, hey, you know what? Maybe I should join a Bible study group too. And my mom was like, great idea. She even told me to go ask him about it since he had mentioned it. One day he's mowing the lawn, so I decided to go talk to him and ask him about the Bible study group. He actually ended up taking me there that same day, and we had a fun class. Over the next few weeks, we became really, really good friends. Best friends. We told each other everything, but there was always attraction between.
Story time of how I caught my ex-boyfriend pleasuring himself in his mom's bathroom while he left me alone downstairs. Just want to preface this by saying he still stalks all of my fucking accounts. So he's definitely trying to comfort himself by being like, oh my god, she's still in love with me. Like, she's still talking about me. Like, no, girl. Your life and yourself are just so fucking embarrassing that I can use it as stand-up content for the next 10 years. So it all started with him trying to seduce me while I literally had a fucking stomach ache, like borderline puking. Anyone with half a goddamn brain can see why I said no, and because he was ugly as shit anyway. I mean, like 10 seconds after, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go upstairs and get ready because we were supposed to be like hanging out with our friends or whatever. As soon as he gets upstairs, our friends text and cancel, so I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Like, come back down. Like, I'm literally sick. I feel like shit. Like, come down here. We're in the same house, mind you. He's ghosting all of my texts, like straight up just ignoring me. I'm like, okay, whatever. Maybe he's just using the bathroom. 30 minutes go by. I am still in agonizing pain downstairs. At this point, I know exactly what the fuck is going on. Because one of his favorite things to do when I wouldn't want to do things with him was threaten to go in the bathroom and pleasure himself to some adult videos. I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, but I just fucking knew. So at this point, I decided to just start fucking with him and scaring the living shit out of him. Because literally, you're just fucking weird. Like, it wasn't even the fact that I was, like, upset about what he was doing or anything like that. It was just accepting the fact that I'm with someone who's literally a fucking loser. So I decided to FaceTime the little fucking freak. Tell me why. Tell me why I heard his footsteps go from his mom's bathroom to his bedroom before he hit answer. And he's all like, no, babe, I was taking a shit. Like, sorry, I'll be down in like 20. Keep in mind at this point, it had been an hour. Over an hour, actually. He hangs up the phone and I hear his footsteps go back from his room to his mom's bathroom. Obviously. At this point, I'm thinking to myself, Lauren, you are dating a fucking weirdo. Like, you need to get the fuck out of this house right now. Like, what are you doing? I know you all are gonna ask me, like, why I didn't just go upstairs and, like, find out for myself or whatever. The things that I would have seen if I went upstairs are things that I could never unsee in my entire life, and I was not trying to do that to myself. Thank you. Another 20 minutes goes by, so at this point, it's, like, almost 2 hours, basically. He finally comes downstairs, and I look at him with a smile, and I say, did you have fun? When I say, to this day, I have never seen a man so fucking nervous, shaking in his boots in my entire life. He's like, what do you mean? Like, oh my god, ew. And you know when, like, someone's just so motherfucking weird that you almost feel unsafe around them? That's about how I was feeling. So I literally acted like my phone was broken and I got the fuck out of there. He chases me to my car. He stands in front of my car, he's blocking the doors, he's fucking doing all this shit. I'm like putting my fucking keys like in my car, like turning it, like just trying to get the fuck out of there. I literally yell out the window like, move or I'm gonna fucking run you over. And he's like, no, what's wrong? Like, stop, please. I literally just floored it and got the fuck out of there. Holy shit. Hate to be this bitch, but go to part 2.
The drama in my life right now isn't even mine. It's like the shit I overhear in the school bathroom, and now I'm like invested. Yesterday I was in there minding my business, doing my business, and these 2 girls come in, not to use the bathroom. What they were talking about was wild. Now, before I continue, I'm not judging. It's your life. You do you. It's just crazy to hear. Now, I know a decent amount of people in my grade and the grade below me. So, then these people I didn't recognize, so which means they were like freshmen, or maybe sophomores, but probably freshmen. So this one girl's like, oh my god, like, I like your bracelet or like something. She gave her a compliment and she's like, thanks, like, I got it yesterday. Oh, where'd you get it? And she was like, oh, I stole it. And I was like, oh, okay. Stealing is not that uncommon, so that wasn't the big shock. And then the other girl was like, oh, it's so cute, like, do you think you could steal me one? The other girl was like, oh yeah, like, I can steal it after school, like, isn't your birthday soon? Like, it can be your birthday present, we can, like, do it together. And I was like, oh my god, that's a really interesting way to bond. And then a third girl walks in and she's like, yo, not saying names, I got your shit. And then one of the girls walks away and then the other 2 girls start making out. Again, you do you, like, pop your pussy in the school bathroom, but they were like making out, and I'm sitting there like, they start doing whatever they're doing, and I'm sitting there like, fuck, I can't leave the bathroom right now, that's like weird. So they finish sucking face, and one of the girls is like, okay, like, I love you, bye. And she leaves the bathroom, and then another girl came in. I could tell because I was washing their shoes. Another girl came in and starts making out with the girl that was just making out with the other girl who just did the drug deal with the other girl. And they're like smacking on each other too. And then the new girl who just came in is talking about some like, oh, is your ex still bothering you? Like, God, she's so annoying. And the girl's like, yeah, she was just in here like stalking me. Like, it was so weird. I was like, oh, you, what? So then I come out the bathroom because I've been in there for a really long time. And I'm like, I give her like the smile, you know what I mean? And she was like, hi. And I was like, hi. And then I went back to class, and now every day I've been looking at everybody's shoes trying to figure out who the fuck these girls were. Love you, and I will report back.
My mom got pregnant many years ago after she married my dad, and they were both overjoyed to have a daughter. After my birth, they were waiting anxiously for me when the nurse walked in, looking nervous. I'm not sure if you want to see her. Oh my God. Is she ugly? I'm going to have a heart attack if she's ugly. I think she's a dwarf. Mom leapt forward and took me from the nurse, and Dad stared at me in horror. I was really tiny and ugly, like a frog. I'll have you fired, you moron. I don't care what my daughter looks like. She's mine, and she's beautiful. So what if she's a bit small? But as years went by and my progress was monitored by doctors, I was diagnosed with slower growth than most people, which meant I'd always look younger than I actually am. Mom didn't care, as long as I was healthy. But Dad,